It's Hobby Now with ZiggyNo. Today is May 29th, 2024. June is right around the corner. And if you're listening to content creators, they're telling you all about the National. It's less than 60, 70, some days away. Today in Hobby Now, we're going to talk about, well, the theme is going to be a lot about crime and does crime pay? Does crime pay in the hobby? Some updates. Um, National thief at Atlantic City. Do you remember this story? Stole $100,000 worth of cards. Got an update on you. Thank you to Hobby Hotline and John from Sports Card Nation. Everybody's talking about the Best Western scam and the guy, not scam, but the thief at Best Western who stole $2 million of cards. We'll hit on that. FBI busts the $2 million PSA slabs. We'll mention Upper Deck. Their epacks were down for 6 hours on Sunday last week. I only bring that up is, was that a cyber crime? Were they under cyber attack? Were they hacked? And remember, it was a year ago, honestly, a year ago, almost to the day, today's 29th, it was the 30th, that Panini was broken into, and there's been no changes, no updates, no status in the Panini break-in where they stole, computers with what you would assume would be computer information. A lot of humbug about the stolen card, Prizm Gawd, Prizm, Sports Card Live. I'll touch on that a little bit. Also touch a little bit about I made a video on Rovell trusting Jesse Craig. And I guess this is where the theme of just crime pay. Because again, if you're in the hobby long enough, you can commit crimes and then you get paid for them later on. Jesse Craig can tell you about that. He had a crime of the Hero Sports. Go look at it. It was a terrible repack. I think even he would tell you if you asked him, "Hey, Jesse Craig, tell me about Hero Sports," he'd say, "It was a mistake." But he had that hobby crime, and here he is today. He's trusted with telling you all that the new comp for the star card Jordan is 925,000 because you got to trust him. He is the man. He got the two buyers and sellers together. They could have been like his right hand and his left hand, got them together, and then he had Rovell verified. Rovell, why Rovell? Well, again, I don't want to go off the topic, but we'll get back to that in a moment. I will just leave you with this: trust, blind trust, and lack of character are what concern me the most in the hobby. We all come in this hobby trusting everybody. Oh, he's such a nice guy, such a nice guy. Too much blind trust and lack of character in the hobby. So grab a drink, grab your popcorn. I'm gonna go ahead and get started. Again, we're gonna start here with the little National Thief update. So I was listening to Hobby Hotline, and John was talked about the best Western thief. This is a guy, somebody, memory lanes. Don't worry, you guys won't forget that name, will you? Memory lanes sent $2 million in cards, FedEx to a Best Western, and they were stolen by Best Western. Now, there's a lot of questions I have. I really don't care. The idiot, I mean, real idiot. He's tried to sell them a local card store. He put something at a friend's house. Let's just be thankful. Let's be thankful, guys, as hobbyists, that an idiot got involved in this. But let me also point this out. It's most of the time idiots are why we catch these people. It's not because they're smart geniuses. The smart geniuses are probably still getting a lot of fraud and crime going on. We don't know about them. We're always like shocked. Oh, like, let's be honest. Card porn was pretty evil genius there, guys. He had so many of us supporting him, kissing his ass, and he was from the get-go scamming people. That's this whole premise was to scam people. So let's not forget about that memory lane. Anyway, Best Western, I'm not going to beat that dead horse. The cards are returned. They auction the cards, yada, yada, yada. What was cool to me is John brought up, if you remember at the National in Atlantic City, a guy came up to a dealer that he'd worked with before, like it's his local card store, said, "Hey, man, can I take a look at some cards?" And the guy said, "Yeah." And he's looking at a bunch of cards, probably like 100,000 other cards in his hand. And he wanted to show them. He said to my son, "I want to show my son or my partner before I make any decisions. Do you mind if I show these to him real quickly?" And the guy said, "Sure." Now, the guy came over there with a box or a bag full of money, or what appeared to be a lot of money, right? Like some $10 bills and a bunch of bills underneath it. You see where this is going, guys, real quickly? He took the cards and left, never came back. When the guy looked at the money, he realized instead of having like $100,000, he had like $10,000 or $3,000 or some small amount of money. Fast forward, what John tells you is the update is this guy's not going to jail who did the scam. He's had to pay a fine, I think like $10,000. I don't even think he has to give the cards up. How fucking crazy is that? Like, how do you get to keep the cards and scam everybody? That's where we are in this hobby, guys. That's where we are. We're at that point where again, it almost seems again, does it pay for? Does this pay off? Now there are some negative stories. There are some people who justice is finally raining down on them. FBI busted the fake $2 million PSA slab scam. This is again where somebody is using cards, sticking them in fake PSA slabs, and creating fraud by pretending that was PSA had graded these cards when they hadn't. Now, I want to emphasize that because it wasn't like this guy was cracking cards, shining them, trimming them, buffing them up, getting the cards submitted to PSA, where PSA encapsulated them, and they weren't defrauding them that way, which some people would argue is a form of defraud, right? If you were to deck the cards up, lipstick, and piggy them, and then send them in, which is why I will emphasize this is not a shining card got busted for the FBI. This was from screwing with the slabs, right? Screwing with the slabs is what got these guys in trouble. I only say that because, again, dumb mistake. I still think there's plenty of people making money, as we know, putting lipstick on pigs and sending it in and getting those cards graded 10s and selling them. And it doesn't have to be the Jordans that are doing it. Well, they can do it with anything, right? You can do it with a PSA 8 Victor Wembanyama base Prizm, turn that into a 10 and you make yourself some money. So I'll just leave it at this. I don't think, and I want to be wrong. So when I say this, please don't say, oh, Ziggy's trying to support crime. No, I'm not. But I don't think the FBI gives a goddamn about somebody trimming. Well, maybe not trimming. Trimming might, about them shining, about them waxing, about them Kurt's card carrying, about them dropping it into a water dish for a week and then submitting the card. I don't think the FBI cares. I hope they do. But right now, that is not the example. Like I said, it shows to me crime is paying. Um, I want to talk a little bit about, I guess, the big crime story of the week was the Prizm God got grilled, and I made a video about this. What I don't understand, if the card was stolen, what are you doing with it? Like, what were you negotiating with it? You wanted to make sure it really was stolen? I don't know. Why aren't the police more involved in the United States? Is it because there's different states, different jurisdictions? Just comparing this story to Sports Card Live story, it seems to me that Canada did a much better job. And I can't imagine this because it was Canada. Canada had that much multiple jurisdictions. Here's my question. Why is the story with Prizm God such a laboring, long, dramatic story? And for those who don't know what I'm talking about, Prizm God apparently came in the ownership of a card that turns out to have been stolen. It was filed in a police report. He has a card. He then moved the card by selling it to Instacart. Instacart gave him cash for it, and Instacart had the card. I think Instacart still has a card. I don't know who has a card. But again, he's involved in holding and possessing stolen cards, which he found out they were stolen, and he didn't return them right away. He continued to try to move them or sell them or whatever. I think that's a problem. I know in his defense, you go, well, how do I really know it's stolen? Could this guy tell me that? Everybody tells you people are stolen. So I also understand that side. But to me, it just seems like, why was this so hard to figure out? Why would we take months and years? Like, I'll just say this. At this point, Prizm God, I'm gonna call you Prizm fraud because it's not just this, it's other things. You were involved in the great curator scam with the fake content. Um, what else did you do recently? Oh, the shill bidding. You saw no problem with shill bidding. I mean, just you're not a good actor. You're not. And the fact that people pay this man, like we do pay him by going to Culture Collision, like here's what I want to see someone do. I would beg someone to do this. Someone make a card show in the exact same time as Culture Collision is planned next time. I want you to compete with them, and I want you to go in lower than them and just call it honest Culture Collision. Call it honest Culture Collision. Can we do that? Honest Culture Collision. Two things will happen. No one will care, and they'll prove what I've said before, that people don't care when you scam, but at least send a shot across the bow Prizm guy, it'll piss them off. But I'm just saying, guys, crime, how do we continue to reward this guy? Someone please make a honest Culture Collision. If I was down in Atlanta, you know who could do that? Jeff could. Geoff could actually step up and go, based on some of the shady activity of this character, I'm going to go ahead and endorse a positive trading and Culture Collision night. But no, you won't. No, you won't. You'll probably be there kissing his ass. It disappoints me. Disappoints me, Jeff. Prove me wrong. Make me be wrong. Make me say I'm wrong. I want to be wrong. Both of you guys make me wrong. Do the right goddamn thing. But it just pisses me off. Again, let me just say this too. I applaud Jeremy Lee. I applaud Jeremy Lee for doing the right thing. Um, whether you were forced to, talked into it, consequence, whatever it might be, you did the right goddamn thing. And it might have been hard to do that. Buy cards and realize you're stolen, have to return them. You did the fucking right thing, Jeremy Lee. And everybody watching that I just applaud that. Love your thoughts on how we stop this stuff from happening. I only see it's going to happen more with all the places you can liquidate your PSA cards. I think crime around PSA cards is only going to escalate. I do applaud PSA for some of the things they're putting in there. I do think again too, you should track your serial numbers, you should take pictures of your cards. You should probably looking into insurance if you have a large amount of cards. Use offsite locations, vaults. There's just a lot to absorb with the whole damn freaking people stealing each other's cards. I want to just quickly. I, I started burning on it. I'm gonna burn on it one more second, and then I'm gonna come back to a happier moment, and that is um, Jesse Craig. I cannot believe that Jesse Craig is a company that can verify a $925,000 sale, and everybody in the world believes it. I want you to think about that. Could could Rob, the sports car therapist, do the same thing? Could he come out and verify an Eli Manning sale was private for $150,000? Would you guys believe him? Would you be okay? How long does he have to wait before he can do that? I'm just asking for my friends. Um, just don't get card porn. Hey, when can card porn come back? When are you guys gonna let him back in? When are you gonna forget what he did and just be like, come back in, card porn? What the hell's going on here? I mean, seriously, I just don't get it. I just don't get it. Um, let's go ahead and switch gears. Switching gears. Why is Panini Retail coming out so hot early in the hobby? Um, I mean, I'm serious. I think about this. You saw the whole story where PSA couldn't grade the optic cards because they didn't have checklists. And it made me think to myself about this. I remember when I came in the hobby, 15, 16, there was like this whole, you don't open product before midnight. Hobby always comes out first because hobby's the best. Hobby's the chase. Retail would lag typically 6 weeks behind. And please drop your comments. Correct me if I'm wrong. But I remember that. It's like, it was very, very strict. As the years went by, I could see the window closed. First of all, first thing I saw was more and more retail. Like you'd see a big hobby release and a retail would follow it, especially in the college products. They drop these retail hobby college hobby products, and you'd see these retail draft shit chase it. But just this last year, I think the most obvious one is Prizm football. Prizm football was out before Prizm was. I mean, I remember seeing that and debating which breaks to get into. And I was throwing like Prizm retail out. I was breaking Prizm retail. Sometimes I'm breaking first off the line. And I think Prizm retail out was a day before that. And then the same thing happened with Optic and you have Select and both in basketball and football. And this is all Panini. This is all Panini doing this. Um, and I'm wondering why. What changed? What? And I have to say, Panini must have stopped doing something. They've stopped enforcing something. They've started where I guess both companies, both systems are manufacturing. Ships goes out to Target. Target gets their stuff, their boxes of retail. All these retailers get their stuff, and the hobby boxes are getting made. They're getting pushed out to their locations. But I'm guessing the retail gets out faster because there's more of it and it has to get to more locations. So it's going out probably much, much further in advance. And I think in the past they'd say you cannot sell until this date. Where now it's like, fuck it, put it on the shelves, right? I really that's why I think it really comes down. Just fuck it, put it on the shelves. And then I ask myself, how is that impacting the hobby? Like you saw the grading thing, but how is it impacting values? Like I thought it might have negatively impacted values. I don't know. I also say this too. God, there's so much lit shit in this hobby stuff and the retail. And what I mean by lit shit is like every product has a gold, every product has a 101, every product has short prints. Now they don't have autos. But even think about this, even if they had autos, if they had Victor Wembanyama's auto, it's not like that'd be rare. That shit would be printed and overused as hell as well. Like we might, I'm just sit there and say this. There's no doubt in my mind there will be less Victor Wembanyama rookie year autographs than any other superstar in the last 10, 20 years. You tell me if I'm wrong, right? And we are gobbling. So I'll say this too. I've gobbled up a whole bunch. I got stacks up here, stacks and stacks of Wembies, right? Okay, just that's two, but I have stacks of them. And I want to liquidate those fuckers as fast as I can. I want to convert them into autos. I really do. And I'm thinking to myself, I was going to run out and grab one of those autos in the drops. Now I'm thinking of chasing autos in the product drops that come out, right? Trying to buy an auto, one of those product drops. So I am all over the place. It's exciting times though. It's fucking exciting times. When I think about retail, I'm also thinking about will those new products being retail? Will they come out first? Will Tops follow in Panini's footsteps? I'm going to watch for that this summer. I don't think it's going to happen. I don't. I think Tops will drop their hobby first and retail will lag behind it. But let's keep an eye on that. And I think that's actually a better way to go. Now let's also pay attention to will we see um, Sapphire? I'm talking Sapphire Bowman Chrome. I'm calling that in at the Fanatics Live. I still have not signed up. I need to wrap this video up. Got a few more things I want to touch on. I'm gonna make a quick prediction right now. Right now, May 29, 2024. Football is going to have a major correction. I think it's going to come in 2027. And it's only 2024 right now. And you're like, what the hell, Ziggy? It could come way before that. I think and the reason I say that just there's too much money being lost in football. The careers are too small. The products There's too much of it. I mean, I remember talking to a guy when I came in the hobby in 2016, 17. He told me people love football, but football burns people out because they buy something, the values go up and down so quickly, and they don't like that. That people in general don't like it. And over time, you watch people come into it. Football's a good place to get into, and then they normally drift off into baseball or football or basketball or hockey or some other sport, which I think is great. But I have to think again, we're going to see a correction. This year, we got the chaos with the rookie classes, rookie autographs. Next year, I don't think the rookie class is as strong. So I'm saying 27, when Panini finally gets everything, I'm sorry, when Fanatics gets everything under their control, I think they're going to expect to make a play, have high expensive box prices. Oh, real quickly, let me just say this. Bowman Sapphire was $429. So I'm saying like there's way too much. Oh, I'm concerned about the future. The prices are going to be high. They're not going to be affordable. Someone asked, what kind of box would you like to open if you can open a box? My answer is Transcendent NFL Football 2025, 26, 27, whenever the first Transcendent football comes out. Full licensed Transcendent football. And you're thinking, what, Ziggy? They don't even have that, but they will. And I bet you there's a Super Bowl tickets in the goddamn box. Wouldn't be surprise me. Then you're gonna make 100 boxes of Transcendent, right? Each one has a VIP tickets. Why don't the VIP tickets be join me at the fucking Super Bowl? I'm telling you, I'm calling it right now. NFL tickets, Super Bowl, and Transcendent. Wouldn't that be balling? That'd be beast. So predicting a football correction, we're gonna just there's just so much money going into it. That's why I'm saying that. I already talked about that. Real quickly, I want to do a shout out to the Chase. I like listening to the show, although the lady on the show is annoying me by keep calling us the chat, the chat, the chat. I don't like the way you say that, but I do like your show, man. Just my feedback. Hopefully you take that in a positive way if you even hear from me. I don't think you leave me out, come on your radar, but uh she had Paul Lesko on this morning. It was really, really good to listen to him. All the stuff he's doing. No major updates. There were some really interesting ones. I'm not going to give away the scoop. There's nothing like stood out at me like, oh man, you got to pay attention to this. But updates in pretty much all the major legal things, including some explanation on why the Marvin Harrison lawsuit's going on, and maybe Panini and Topps are trying to protect some proprietary information, like how much they pay the autograph signers. So a lot of cool stuff on that. Um, I am super excited. I have Mike Ham on tonight live. We'll be on live at 9 p.m. tonight. I'm super excited to talk to him about what's going on in the hobby, talk about breaks. Like I said, right now I've got a ton of cards grading and getting graded. I thought I was gonna send more out. I'm actually, I won't say struggling. I'm struggling to make an order submission out in May. I think I'll get one out on Friday of between 10 and 20 cards, depending on what I can put together. I have the cards, just to decide which ones I want to send now. And I should send some out every month. I don't want to miss a month. And then we have June right around the corner. In June, we got the Chantilly show, which, as I mentioned to you before, one thing I'll be talking about later on, I'm looking for some cards to get autographs for Will Levis, Bo Nix, and Penix. I get some rookie cards autographed by those guys. So super excited to do that. And get those graded, slabbed up. Is there a play there? Am I making a mistake? We'll see. You let me know. Like, comment, subscribe. Guys, really, let's see what else. That's it. That's it right now. We'll talk more later on. Join us live tonight. Hope you enjoyed this video. I hope I made make better points about the Darren Rovell. Darren, please don't trust Jesse Craig. You can do better than that.